Hey Yins, guess what? This week on Car Dad Bill, we have a 2021 Ford Bronco 2-door, 6-speed manual, badass SUV. Let's go for a ride. All right, guys, let's do a walk around of the outside of the Black Diamond Bronco 2-door. And first couple things are these wheels, that roof rack, this awesome front end, and just the rugged appearance of this thing overall. It looks like a army vehicle, if you will. Love the upright grille. Love the HID head, or the LED headlights, the LED turn signals in here. Love how this stance is, and love how it's just very upright and boxy. Boxy's new, or boxy's in, boxy's trendy. Everybody likes that. Now these mirrors, see how that is? See how it's kind of sticking out? It's attached to the hood, kind of like with this support bracket, and it sticks out. It doesn't come off the door like normal. These remove on the inside. We'll go over that here in a second. But those come off, so you have top open driving. And then these things, you can hook things onto the roof racks to give yourself, you know, a little bit better storage if you need it. And just look at the shape overall. Really nice. I do like the black plain wheels. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Love the Bronco logo on the back. Really cool. That's where your camera sticks out. Your rear view camera, backup camera. And then just look at that overall stance. Got the license plate there. And this opens up with the big shock on the bottom of it there to keep it open. And then here's a little bit of the storage on the back. I put this seat down on purpose so you could see, but here's what it looks like with the seat up. That's how much room you have. And then there's what you have with the seat down. I was able to put Anna's car seat in there with the static seat belts. It's a pretty cool interior. Now check out these animations. Get in the vehicle. There it is. Look at that thing. That is pretty cool. I like it. Push the clutch in, start the engine. You get your welcome screens. Let me get this out of the way. So now we're inside the Bronco, and we got a clutch. We got a stick shift. And we have a very, very simple, easy to use dashboard. This changes to your CarPlay when you hook your phone up to it, which my phone is hooked up to. I turned it off though, so that it doesn't interrupt my video. Your start stop button's down here, and then you have some pretty simple venting across the front. You got your oh crap bar here, you got your oh crap bar over there, and you got another one over here. You also have a little bit of a storage container section up top with your locking differential, your traction control, and your four-way flashers. Down below, simple HVAC center with your plugs down below, a little bit more storage. Then you have your four-wheel automatic, four-wheel low, four-wheel high, hill descent control, and your two-wheel. Then as you spin this, look at the cool animation that happens up here with each different thing. Sport mode, setting the world on fire, 4x4 is going on. Mud ruts, 4x4 is going in again. You're in your sand mode, and then you're in your rock crawl mode, and that's for low. Switch all the way back over here to normal, which is the Bronco logo, and it's going back to two-wheel drive. See down here, whenever it says up there that it's switching, these light up differently. And another thing about this, see you have the 6-speed manual with your reverse, which you have to lift the collar up to get into reverse. But then you have crawl mode, which is down there. And it says it up there on the display as well. It says C. And it even says it for all the different things that you get into: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth gear. It lets you know where you're at. Now, this is a speedometer on this side. You have a speedometer, digital speedometer here, and then you have your tachometer here, and that's your red line. And that's goofy. It's hard, it's not hard to get used to, because see when you rev it, how it bounces up and down. It's just a different way of looking at it. And it's not horrible, but it just takes a little bit of time. Then you go back here to the steering wheel. You have your volume, your cruise control, and your different menu buttons over here that change what the configuration looks like up there. You can toggle through all different types of stuff. Now, back down here, storage container for the key and for my wallet, cup holders. Here's where the windows are. So the window button is in the middle. There's your mirror control, because they really kept the doors very, very plain, very kind of rugged looking. They have and then you can lift this, and this takes the door off, the covering off. Buttons here for your locks. So really, it's a very simple interior. Showed you that before, but let's take a look at the back real fast. All right, now I got the seat moved all the way up. That seat's folded forward. See how that folds like that? There's the leg room that the back seat has, which is not great, but it's also not terrible for kids. My daughter's able to plug herself in there pretty easily. All of that stuff up there, that's all like a fabric material up here. Like I said, these two panels come off. I think you could probably get that back panel off, but you have to undo bolts, and I'm not going to do that during my week driving the vehicle. It would just be too much to have to deal with that. And they give you a nice cover container to put this in. But let's hop out on the road, go for a little bit of a drive, so I can tell you kind of how this thing behaves. And there's these are some auxiliary switches, so you can hook lights and things up to it and use those, turn that stuff on. It's pretty neat. And then huge window visor, or sun visors, huge. Let's go for a ride. All right, guys, so I wanted to go over a couple numbers real quick. I have their suggested retail price, and I have the actual Monroney that goes to the vehicle, but it doesn't have like the MPG ratings and things like that. I'll just go over that stuff from what I did during the week. But this one's a 21 two-door advanced 4x4 Bronco. MSRP on this one's $36,845. Comes with a 2.3 liter EcoBoost i4 engine, inline 4 engine. 7-speed manual transmission is what they call it. But you saw when I showed you earlier, it has that crawl mode as technically the 7th speed. So you have 1 through 6 and your reverse is normal shifting. This is the Black Diamond series. It adds a few options, destination and delivery. It goes from $36,845 up to $40,025. This is just a fleet vehicle. So it's not technically for sale. So they don't have a for sale Monroney on this one. Cactus gray is that color on the outside that you saw earlier, and the vinyl gray and black seats in here. Also, in the back, I don't think I showed you guys this when I was looking in the back, there's actually a footwell that you can unscrew and drain. So it doesn't have to be, you know, full of junk. You can actually drain it out if it gets wet. Back to the Bronco, 2.3 liter, yes, 2.3 liter EcoBoost inline 4 engine. And the gas mileage that I have been getting, I have been averaging 19.2 miles per gallon. That's with a decent highway trip this weekend for hockey, which I was in 6th gear most of the time on the highway in snow. I didn't put the car in 4-wheel drive. I didn't put the Bronco in 4-wheel drive really at all. Didn't need to this weekend, didn't need to with the snow. The tires that are on this thing are perfectly fine for those conditions. And I was actually surprised how well it handled its speed on the highway. Now on the way back, it was very windy and it blew this thing around a little bit, but overall, it's not bad. And I actually really enjoy driving this. So let's get on the road and talk about it. All right, so first things first, I have it in 1st gear. I have the clutch depressed. It's in the parking brake, which is a button, which I don't like having the button. I want an actual like lever parking brake that I can pull up and know it's on. This one's automatic. I think it's just the way technology is nowadays, so you're not really gonna get that changed. But so I have it in 1st gear, right? If I'm on a hill in 1st gear, the parking brake actually holds the vehicle still so you don't roll backwards when it's time to engage the clutch, which is very different from what I grew up driving. I'm sure a lot of you have. The new technology now is you have this automatic parking brake, you have the auto hold, which holds you in place on hills, and then you have the same technology you have in the other cars. So now I'm in 1st gear, clutch is depressed, I'm gonna let go of the clutch, I'm gonna give it some gas, and it takes the brake off. So now I can just pull away. Now here's the other thing that's nice about these new stick shifts. I'm not going to give it any gas. I'm gonna let the clutch out slowly, and as I do that, it's starting to go forward, and I let the clutch all the way out, and I'm fully in 1st gear without giving it any throttle. So the computer system, in a way, is what makes it what actuates the actual gear. You can leave a flat situation without having to push the gas pedal, and that's very different from previous stick shift vehicles that I've driven over in the past. Something different, something for you guys to note. And I don't know if that's Bronco specific or if it's just stick shift specific, you know, around the board. But this Bronco with the 2-liter turbo is pretty cool. I mean, it's such a small SUV, kind of like a Jeep looking vehicle, that it gets up and goes. If you don't want to drive it like that, you don't have to. You can get it into the next gear and ride along, you know, underneath the low RPMs. Once you get over 3,000 RPM though, just about in that range, is when you start to hear that whistle of the turbocharger, and it's a great sound. And it really reminds you that it's turboed. It reminds you how much power there is, and it picks up rather quickly, and you're moving down the highway. So I was really kind of not depressed and not upset, but I was definitely disappointed that I had a small engine in this, but it's really impressed me over the week that I've had it. It has plenty of pickup, it has plenty of torque, and you don't really need anything else. I would like a little bit better of an engine note, maybe an exhaust note while I'm driving, but other than that, it's really not a bad matchup with the type of vehicle that we're driving here. Other things I want to note. So there's two other things I want to note about this Bronco. The stick shift being number one. Not having driven one in a while, it's something different and it's very fun. And after a week of driving this, it's a blast. Two, the exterior styling and interior styling is what people want. Everywhere I go with this, people are asking me, how do you like the Bronco? What do you think of the Bronco? It's a conversation piece, it's a head turner, and it's definitely one of those vehicles that's out there now that people are just interested in. The name comes back to people's mind. It's a nostalgic thing, you know, the Bronco. And honestly, I've gotten waves from other Bronco owners that are driving late model Broncos, that are driving like 90s style Broncos. People wave to me when they see me. It's pretty kind of funny. Now, I have a friend that has a 4-door Bronco soft top, and she actually wants the 2-door now that she saw the 2-door in person. I personally think the 4-door Bronco is the Bronco. Like, that's the one I want. That's the one that I think of when I think Bronco. I think the 4-door beast one, big tires, wide stance, you know, thick. It's like a thick vehicle. The other thing about this is that it's absolutely easy to drive in town. You would think having a clutch, having a shift, and all that nonsense, that you would be annoyed and you wouldn't want to stick shift. But really, this thing's a breeze to shift, it's a breeze to downshift, it's a breeze to heel toe, and you really can't mess it up. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I'm gonna get you guys on the highway here shortly, and I'm gonna go through the gears, and I want you to hear it shift. I want you guys to hear the road noise and the turbo whistle, if possible. The thing is, this being a hardtop gives it a little bit more insulation and a little bit more sound deadening, and it's welcome when you're driving on the highway at highway speeds. But it's definitely loud. I was actually surprised at how loud it really got. I drove on the highway for a while. Granted, it were windy conditions, but it's definitely loud. You have to turn the stereo up. The stereo system in this thing is hot garbage. I don't know what brand it is. It doesn't have any logos on it or anything like that. But there's no low end, decent mids and highs, but no low end. If you're a music guy, music person like I am, I really like a good stereo system. I really need a good stereo system, especially when I'm driving on trips and taking the kids places. And this one just didn't stack up. It just didn't do anything that I thought it would do. Kind of disappointed in that regard. But the handling is the other thing I want you guys to know about this. And the way that the wheelbase is and how short it is and how wide it is, you can really throw this thing through the corners. And you can feel pretty confident doing it. You're not gonna fly off the road. It takes bumps really well. The big tires and the suspension system underneath this vehicle really handle the bumps really well, really handle the uneven terrain really well. Was definitely very impressed with that overall. I did get to drive it on some dirt roads, some gravel roads, some uneven terrain. Tried my best to try out as much as I could with this during the week. And I have to say that it performs well. It's a very even-keeled SUV. You know what you're gonna get. You know that it's gonna handle that stuff well. Overall, love it. All right, so I'm gonna jump on the highway up here. I'm gonna get down in the second gear. Of course, there's traffic today. It's a beautiful day today. People are out and about, getting it done. Get on the on-ramp here and try to give it some throttle getting on the highway up here. And I want you guys to hear it and hear the wind noise as it picks up. And I got some bumps coming up here, so I apologize if the camera bounces around a lot. on the throttle. You got trucks with trailers, all kinds of good stuff going on right now. But it definitely picks up well. You can jump right out into traffic. You hear that turbo whistling away, and here comes that road noise. So I noticed it more when I drove by myself with the kids, but now that I'm driving with you guys and I have the camera on, I can talk to you. It's really not that bad. Windows are up, but I do love the turbo whine. When you get on it, you can kind of hear it whistling a little bit underneath. It's really pretty cool, and it's not a bad highway vehicle. You think these off-road vehicles, being so the high center of gravity and being sitting up on the suspension, you would wobble around a lot. You don't really. It's pretty stiff and pretty enjoyable. This is Car Dad Bill giving the Bronco 2 a thumbs up. Awesome little SUV, awesome little off-road vehicle. Love the stick shift. The kids loved it. Car Dad Bill, real cars, real people, real life. I'll see you guys next time.